see.
Let people trickle in.
That's it. But yeah, we don't have the shelter in place order or the safer at home order or whatever they're calling it yet. So everybody's kind of still very, I mean, it's dead. I mean, there's no traffic or anything. But like I was able to go pick up mine today. Nobody else in the store, just walked right in and grabbed my books and was out.
Yeah.
Picked a couple of wall books because I figured it's going to get, I don't want my store to close, so I picked up a couple of wall books that I probably wouldn't have otherwise. I wanted to pick up the Infinity Gauntlet #1 they had up, or not, it wasn't Infinity Gauntlet #1. It's the first appearance of the Infinity Gauntlet in Silver Surfer 38, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. It was that or Thanos Quest.
I think it was, they had the Silver Surfer one that was up there, and it was beautiful. I mean, that thing they'd done a good job pressing it and everything. I was like, oh, I wanted it, but he'd sold it. He said, well, we just sold it on Sunday. Oh man, come on.
You know what? Ron Lim's art back on those Silver Surfer issues was dope.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Ron Lim, Jim Starlin. It's a great pair.
Mm-hmm. They really worked well together. And in Infinity Gauntlet, because that was the same combo on that, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were both on Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War. I don't recall whether or not Lim was the artist on Infinity Crusade, though.
I never read Crusade.
Yeah,
it's on my to-do list in life, and I've just never gotten to it.
Yeah, you know what? I was kind of burned out on the Infinity everything by the time Crusade happened, and it wasn't really about the Gauntlet anymore. And like Aisha from Guardians 2 was the kind of bad guy girl character from it. And yeah, I just, you know what? It just kind of bored me. Like, yeah. I think I read the first issue and then I was like, nah, I think I'm done.
Now you said you weren't able to pick up your books. You're not going to be able to pick up your books this week, right?
Yeah, you know what? I guess Pele's waiting to get in.
Oh, I better let him in.
Yes, sir.
There he is. Hey, brother. Welcome, Pele.
I'll be sitting out there for 10 minutes, you jackass.
I'm sorry. I wish there was a notification or something that popped up on it. I was off doing other. I bet I can, stop being a dork and probably set that up somehow. I got to learn how to figure all this out still. So,
yeah.
But go ahead. You were talking about your store, Doc.
Yeah, I don't know whether or not
are streaming. Are we streaming now, or
we are on?
Okay, all right. I'm not seeing the stream up.
I didn't get a notification. I had to go to Stax's channel to find it.
I'm not surprised. I got a notification on my other phone, and we got 6 in here.
Yeah.
So. Okay. All right.
Good start. Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Actually, go ahead and do that. But no, I don't know whether or not my store is going to be open tomorrow, even for curbs. Like last week it was curbside pickup, and I had to email them ahead of time because I don't think I got the my store uses the Comic Hub app, and that way in the event that I want to add new stuff, and it tells me it'll give me a heads up. It emails me normally the day before saying, hey, your book's ready. And I don't think I got that email today. Now it might be there whenever when I wake up in the morning, maybe, I don't know. But if it's there, if I get the email, I'll call in the morning and see if they are going to be even doing curbside. But Pennsylvania went to a shelter in place, at least for 6 counties. I don't know if it was the whole state. I don't understand what the hell they're doing at this point. And but I guess they're starting to actually enforce the lockdown thing on non-essential businesses,
Right?
but it's not just like it's not the local cops that are enforcing it. I guess it's the state cops. That way, when the local hole in the wall bar just kind of doesn't close because the local cops also go and drink there. Now it's the state cops that don't really give a damn.
Well, I mean, there's so much alcohol. I don't think a virus could survive.
Well, some of these places, some of these places, you go in there, you spend a couple of weeks going in there, you're basically immune to everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But you walk out with the clap and a few other things. So.
Yeah,
Whoa.
but it's like George Carlin always said about going swimming in the Hudson River and never getting sick as a result.
Yeah. You have a hypodermic needle sticking out of your ass. It's that's what it is.
So the elephant in the room right now, the big elephant would be what's going
Trailblazer?
on. Going on. Would be what's going on with Diamond. That's obviously we got a couple different viewpoints here as far as what's going on. Pele, you as a shop owner, and me and Doc as consumers. But what's the after this look like? Focusing forward on the back end of this, if are we going to come back to paper soon?
I think probably in May. I think that at least May, maybe toward the end of April. But I think that when non-essential businesses, they finally announce that non-essential businesses can reopen, that's when we'll get paper back. So, it's temporary. And I think that Marvel will use it as a way to kind of filter out some of the stupid crap that they've announced lately. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think we're going to see Trailblazer and Snowflake and Safe Space and Friends. And I don't think we may not even see the Children of the Atom. So considering how badly everything, as far as that's been received. So they may just kind of use it as an excuse to, we're kind of shorten our publishing for the next few months. And
then just dump books like that in trade paperback. Mostly
just digital only. Just digital only and say, okay, there we go.
That's my biggest thing is if there's one thing I don't want, it's a digital only. If they do that, that ruins, it seems, so many things in my opinion. Being able to sit down and go through, a series and be like, well, okay, I got to put these ones down because now I got to go hop on my computer or my device and read these 3 books.
No, I don't think they'll have they won't have like X-Men digital only or X-Force digital only or Fantastic Four digital only. They won't do
not the main titles.
No, it'll be some of the flotsam and jetsam that they we're going to do. Some of the throwaways of the miniseries or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the ongoing series they won't mess. The big titles they won't mess with those. DC I think is pretty much going to be the same way. We're probably going to see abbreviated publishing lists for the next 6 months, even after this is done. But the main titles will still be coming out on paper. So.
Now, do you think they're going to go digital release every new comic book day up until they do release those titles?
No, I think they'll just hold off on publishing.
That would be awesome. That would be my preferred course of action on this, honestly.
Yeah, they're just gonna act like the next month or so is a break, and they'll pause everything until that point, and then they'll start publishing again. But that's my impression from what I've read.
That could be a blessing on some of these titles where it seems like you get to about, the X-Men Fantastic Four, which is probably in the can by now, but just the preview.
If anybody's like me, they've got a whole long box of books that they're behind. So.
Oh, absolutely! I'm sitting here looking at one right now. But like the X-Men Fantastic Four, where you could see just from the previews in issue 3, from the difference in the art quality from 1 to 3, where it looks like we got to the point where we're starting to rush things now. So hopefully, maybe some of the artists will get to take a breath and catch up on some stuff.
No, from what from what old big boy Dan Slott was talking about, he's just gonna sit back and drink a beer and chill, and is not going to do a damn thing for the next.
Come on, if you think that man's putting anything but Doritos in his mouth,
yeah, he is a piece of crap. I tell you, this garbage man, and I guarantee that he won't do a damn bit of work as long as the books are on hiatus.
Well, so I look at it this way, at this point, I'm pretty sure that this is just the Earth's reaction to the New Warriors and Children of the Atom being produced. Like this is the penalty.
Mother Nature striking back.
Yeah, it saw that this swill being produced, and I mean, this stuff makes the dreck of the 90s look like goddamn Shakespeare.
It does, really. It's that bad.
And the Earth itself just reacted and went, nope. I'm just making you motherfuckers stay home for sorry.
That one. I mean, there was a time. I'm sure you remember it too. There was a time during about the mid to late 90s. It was just trash, and that trash looks exalted compared to the trash today.
It does. I mean, sorry for the language, by the way.
Awesome. But I don't understand, and and this is a good discussion to have. I would almost rather see that hit the market though and fail miserably and do what it's done and tick everybody off. Everybody's mad at that book, left, right, middle. Everybody's mad at it. Like, what the heck are you thinking? I would rather that hit the market and fail than them take a character, a character that already exists in the Marvel universe, and change them like we've seen happen in the past to fit, whatever block of they're trying to check that day. I would rather these new, because there's a potential that when they actually introduce a new character and it's not horrible, that if it can stand on its own 2 feet, then that means the market demands it, and that's fine. It's got to be probably well written. It's got to people got to actually want that, and the people who buy comic books actually have to want that. If it stands up on its own, that's fine. But like this example, the only people buying that are going to be people to roast it on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, well, like Children of the Atom was going to get a helping hand by having that X slapped on it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was the way to bump sales. It's a typical marketing push. They find something that's complete trash, but they already paid for it, so they figure out a way to shoehorn it into something else that's already popular, and hope that there's at least a little bit of bleed over in interest.
Right. Is Children of the Atom a 5-part, or is it not? It's not.
I think it's 5. I think it's 5 issue.
Probably 4 too many.
Yeah, well, it's 6 too many. 6 too many. The promotion was too much.
Yeah.
Oh, what got me was the fat Jean Grey, the fat dude playing the version of Jean Grey. I'm like, God, no. It's just no.
Yeah, but look, this whole thing is, I'll be honest, the coming out of this is going to be ugly. Oh, it is. I mean, part of it depends on what happens with the federal bailout, stimulus, whatever they want to call it. If there's some sort of rent and credit and blah 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 type of thing that happens soon, maybe some of these shops can hold on and hope to pull themselves out of it afterwards.
Yeah.
But we're going to be in a whole new world when this is done. And
I'll tell you what, if that comes out, and if it's a 0 interest loan that I can get, you better believe I'm going to be taking that. So I know a lot of people will.
Yeah.
So one thing we were going to talk about is now that we're not going to have new books for a little while. What's those of? And probably a lot of people are kind of strapped right now for cash, especially if you're not like a salary employee or you're not working for the government. You may have one of those an hourly job, and if you do, you know that income flow is going to be down quite a bit, possibly. So, what are some affordable series out there? Some affordable, X-Men books. What's out there that would be awesome to read during this time if you can find them in back issues.
Do you want to go ahead, Pele?
Marvel Unlimited. If you're really strapped, get a sub to Marvel Unlimited. If you have a little bit of money, then you could start digging into the late 200s, early 300s uncannies. Those are pretty reasonable still. Yeah.
And honestly, there's a lot of X-Men kind of related series that aren't like the main title, not like Uncanny or X-Men, but a lot of the X-Force from around that time, especially during the Peter David era. It's really good. X-Factor. A lot of the X-Force from the Fabian era post Liefeld. But there's other stuff like the late 90s, early 2000s Alpha Flight relaunch that was really good. Yes, Dane, it does feel like we're cheating on Wes.
Nah. He's awake. He could be on here if he wants to.
Yeah, if he wants to hop in.
Absolutely.
But it's like 11 a.m. over in.
I think he's taking care of his kids. He's like daytime daddy.
Yeah, he's the daytime daddy. So he's busy there. But no, there's the late 90s Alpha Flight, the one that was actually there was two different pretty good Alpha Flight series, because there was also the one in early 2000s that had the replacement team that was still surprisingly good, that Scott Lobdell did with Clayton Henry on art. And Clayton Henry is kind of that like proto Stuart Immonen for style wise, but he blended a little bit more of that manga style into it, but a lot of those clean thin lines kind of thing. And it had a whole new Alpha Flight team, but I've been on a little bit of an Alpha Flight kick recently, and it was. But the only I think original member was Sasquatch, and he had to recruit a whole new team because the other team died, and then he had to they had to save them later because oh my god, they weren't dead. Sorry, I just spoiled it. Gave a very minor spoiler for a 20-year-old comic.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. You know what? A lot of the Wolverine issues from about, you could definitely find most of the
the Marvel Comics Presents. Oh my god, you can get like all of those.
Yeah,
for like a less than $1.
Yeah, I see those all the times in the 50-cent bins.
Yeah, a lot of especially when Wolverine was the kind of the headliner for it. It was always a Wolverine story, and then two other backup stories in it. And, it was only like a 12 or 16 page Wolverine story, and then 8 pages of maybe Ghost Rider or Iceman, and then 8 pages of somebody else, because I think it was
pre-gay Iceman. That's pre-gay Iceman, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, because and then you can also probably pick a lot of the Wolverine solo title from the Mark Silvestri era all the way up through you can get almost all the way to the end of that first run. You could probably get about after issue 10, there's basically none that are, except for maybe issue 80, that's going to be more than about $2.
That's awesome. I went and checked Marvel Unlimited since we mentioned it, and they're doing a 7-day free trial right now. So it's something to get you a week for nothing, and then it's $9.99 a month after that, or $70 for the year. So, I mean, 7 days free if you're got your feet up and you need something to do, it may keep you from going crazy.
Oh, and another new good thing, because I just saw it. Apparently, Alterna is still, their printer is still considered an essential business.
Oh, I saw it today.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to keep printing Alterna books, and especially if you're ordering direct, you can order direct from Peter, and you're still getting a great deal on those books. I think he offers a little bit of a discount if you order direct from him, especially if you're buying bulk.
I think I think it's $5 like is the standard shipping rate for any order over 25.
Yeah.
So you just load up the box, and he's also got some if you're not sure about it, he's got some damaged books on there to where you can try them out pretty cheap and get one in if you like it, you can keep going with the series. I think he has some single issues like that and some trade paperbacks that are that way. So
yeah. So, there's a lot of, especially the, what else is you could probably do pretty well with a lot of the, for the non-X fans, a lot of the Eric Larson era Amazing Spider-Man books, up through, so from about, other than the Carnage trilogy. Well, actually, Carnage was the Bagley era. So, pretty much from the time that McFarlane left until right up before Bagley took over, a lot of those books you could still find cheap in dollar bins.
I've been trying to complete 200 through 400 on Amazing Spider-Man. That's just kind of my run I want to complete. I know it's going to get really expensive there around 300. But I've been picking up lately. I picked up I think 6 titles today, 6 Amazing Spider-Man books today.
But you know what? Honestly,
252 is going to kick your ass too.
Oh yeah,
that's the first black costume.
Although I actually found one in a half price books.
Yeah, but that's like luck.
I know. I found that and Secret Wars 8 in the same day at half price books.
Yeah, I found a 181 for 50 cents. I found a Hulk 181 for 50 cents at Goodwill. It's like, I felt so bad. It was so funny. I felt so bad. I went back and gave the chick $100. Like 100. I gave her all the money I had in my pocket, and I was like, I can't do this, and I just gave her one in my pocket. And she's like, "Oh, that must be a good one." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "In the shape it's in, it's worth about like $3,500," and her mouth just dropped.
Man. I think the only moment I've had like that is when I picked up a G.I. Joe #1. That's like the best one I've come across that way, where I paid $2 for it, and nothing close to your guys' finds. I'm gonna get there one day. One time I'm gonna be on Twitter just showing it off, just jumping up and down. One of these days.
Just think about the guy that found that guy in Pennsylvania that found the Detective 27 in his great grandpa's old Prohibition porn stash.
Yeah, dude, I think that was in Lawrenceville.
It's like, yeah, there's a Detective 27, and it was like 26, 27, 28, whatever. Like all of them just jammed in between porno mags, and they were like perfect because they had been pressed there for like, 50, 60 years.
Wow.
They've been pressed under like 50 pounds of porno mags for all that time, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, I think that was in the attic in a house down in Lawrenceville, which is, like 2 miles outside of downtown Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's crazy. People do that people find that kind of stuff. It's miracles.
Oh yeah.
I always think it's weird. I always think it's pretty amazing how the different areas of the United States have different very different comic landscapes as far as finding old issues. Like
Yeah.
here, I'm in the Middle Tennessee area. I can't find anything there's talking about people going to estate sales and being able to find stuff. Never happens like that for me. If I go to an estate sale, it's going to be somebody who bought an entire life's worth of Captain America 327s.
Yeah.
It's all those.
Well, you have to have.
50 cent
You've got to have to find those old Golden Age books like that. You've got to have a town that was around during that time that had like the Five and Dime, or had like the local soda fountain or somewhere like that, or a drugstore that had the spinner racks at the time.
Yeah.
You had to have stores like that. So you had to have a town that was pretty industrialized, that had the gas station, had gas stations, everything like that. And the problem is Middle Tennessee was, with the exception of Nashville and a few other towns, was just nothing
right
during that time. It built up, after that.
Whereas Pittsburgh,
around here, even
Pittsburgh
around here, you find collections like that because Dandridge, Jefferson City, Greenville, all those little towns that dot all over the place. Townsend, Kingston, all those places like dot all over East Tennessee had those Five and Dime and drugstores in them. So you find those old comic collections sitting in basements or in attics and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
But it's wild. That happens around here too. The big thing around here is, for some reason, is the older, it's like not the Golden Age, but like the Atomic Age stuff. People bring in like the collection, old science, old sci-fi, and EC horror and stuff like that sometimes. And I'm more than happy to buy it from them.
Yeah. What I have is a lot of the old timers that never moved out of, the South Side or Lawrenceville or Bloomfield or Oakland, and now they're either finally retiring and moving to Florida, or they're just dying off. And I mean, I know we've talked about it before, but I got like 25 comic shops within 20 miles of my house.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Like I can literally like go to a different shop almost every day of the month if I wanted to. Cool. And so we have a lot of, and I'll find stuff at estate sales. I'll find stuff at half price books. I'll find stuff at little vintage stores like antique shops. I don't really find anything though on like, I see a lot of other people, Craigslist and, Let Go and Offer Up and stuff like that. None of that's here.
Yeah. With the advent of the internet, it just takes seconds to figure out how much your comics are worth. So the old days of have 5 boxes of comics, come pick them up for $10. Those are long over.
Well, you know what? No, it's still around, especially if it's the really old timers, and if they're finally moving up or moving out and moving to Florida in their 80s or 90s, they're just like, I just don't want to move this crap.
Yeah, but they won't specifically say comics; they'll just say like bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
then you've got to kind of guess at it, and
show up and you gotta kind of look at if they show photos of the rest of the house, you got to see whether or not, do you think they might have liked comics at any point? Is their style, their decorating, is there any indication?
Did they have any grandkids? Did they have any children? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those old houses too, that one guy that was renovating a house in Florida, he was pulling, this was like in Fort Lauderdale or something. He's pulling old paneling off the walls from like the 1930s and 40s. And what somebody had done, the plaster walls behind the paneling had developed holes in them. So they were taking magazines and comic books and filling the holes in plaster. And he found an Action Comics #1. He found All-Star Comics #3 and 4. He found all these, the greatest books that had ever been, but they were weathered. and they were brown, and but they were still valuable because of what they were. And so he got excited. The chick, he was supposed to cart all the stuff that was in the place out and keep all the debris, keep all the stuff, for recycling or whatever. And he got excited because he started pulling these comic books out. He knew comic books were valuable from that time. So he's like pulling them out and putting them in trash bags, just getting them out of the walls. And the lady came by and she's like, "What are you finding?" He goes, "Well, I'm finding old books in the walls." And then she started getting curious. And she talked to her son, and her son came down there, and then there's a big fight that happened. He started digging through the bag. Her son started digging through the bags and found the Action Comics #1.
Oh, that could turn into a fist fight really fast.
And well, the kid had it in his hands, and the kid's like, "Hey, mom, this is worth like $1 million." Of course, it wasn't in the condition it's in, but still, that's going to make somebody's eyes pop open. And the remodeler runs over and grabs the comic, tries to grab it from the kid, and they start tug-of-warring over it and rip it in half. So,
oh God, the history destroyed. That's so sad.
This is bad.
They literally, I think they ripped like the cover and like 4 or 5 pages or something like that, and it was just like, oh God. And
that's so disappointing.
I was like, oh no. But ironically, what was funny about it, well, they did work it out, and they had to end up agreeing to half or something like that. They had a mediation with it, and the rest of the comics, and they did go to a conservation place, and they were able to piece it back together and sell it restored. And it still brought like $100,000, $120,000, something like that. But if they hadn't done that, it probably would have $300,000, $400,000. So,
oh yeah,
crazy.
So what are you reading right now, Stax?
Right now I've got X-Men. I picked up my books today, so I got X-Men lined up, X-Force, Wolverine. I got the stack here. I've been reading Al Ewing's Guardians of the Galaxy. The first 2 issues. The first issue I didn't like. The second issue, it kind of hooked me. So I hate to admit that I'm reading Al Ewing, but I am. And then
you know what?
He's okay for a few issues.
He's actually not a bad writer, especially with like the cosmic stuff. I really enjoyed his Ultimates and Ultimates 2. But no, but he's a shithead.
Yeah, he's a shithead. His Immortal Hulk is seminal Hulk. It is the best Hulk series. Before he went off the rails, it was the best Hulk series within 25 issues that had ever been written.
Yeah, I was on board until issue 25.
It fell off the wagon hard.
You guys had convinced me to start picking it up, and then issue 25 it hit, and it was like, oh my gosh, what was this? It was like he had a seizure and put it on paper.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Stax.
Sorry, you're good. But then I'm behind on Amazing Spider-Man, and that's probably something we talk about on another day, is Nick Spitzer's run and the ebbs and flows of it. But sitting down with Amazing Spider-Man usually starts out as a chore now. Because I'm reading other things, and I'm like, well, it had the Hunted storyline, and everything else has really just been kind of boring.
For all the shit that Spider-Man fans have had to go through over the last several years now, or at least a year and a half, what they need to do is send them a love letter and Chip Zdarsky and Mark Bagley for 20 issues.
Oh God, yeah.
That'd be beautiful.
And just say, this is a love letter. We're going to have a 20-issue run of Chip Zdarsky and Mark Bagley, and you guys get to enjoy it for the next year and a half, and then we'll screw you again.
Take my money.
Yeah, right?
But I don't think, that Marvel doesn't love the customers like they used to. So,
well, I think, and unfortunately, they know people. I mean, me and Doc are the same way. Amazing Spider-Man stays on the pull list. It doesn't come off. So
good for me.
Yeah, And I mean, if I hit a one more day type scenario, I'd be gone. But it's one that I just can't let off the pull list for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's my number 2 book behind UXM. Yeah. Uncanny, I mean, when it's being published, it is the one book. So I need either Uncanny X-Men or X-Men. Just like X-Force, just X-Factor, just X anything else. And no, it doesn't do the trick. I need an X-Men book, a Prime X-Men book on my pull list, and then ASM. But if I ever get to the point, well, if I ever get to the point of being like, nope, I'm done with X-Men, ASM goes right with it.
Yeah,
everything goes with it. That's my problem.
I can see that. I can see if ASM went way south on me. Oh man, about to get into what I wish I was reading was Captain America. That is like a book that when I came back to comics, it was like, ASM, Cap. That's kind of my 2 that I had to have on it. And then I tried to get back into X-Men, and I was like, not right now. That was a bad time for X-Men. But and then I just couldn't do the current storyline over on Cap.
Captain Antifa.
Yeah, the Ladies of Liberty and all this stuff. And, it's like, give Cap his book back. Oh man, it's it's bad.
Was Coates ever this bad? Was Coates at one time was pretty decent, wasn't he?
Honestly, I've never thought he was a decent creative writer. He's an all right essayist, but
he wasn't like this flaming social justice like he is now, though.
Oh yeah, he was.
I didn't think he was that bad.
No, he was always that bad.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I'm just never really, because I didn't read Cap a lot unless it has like a crossover with some other character that I like, and I didn't mind Cap in like the Avengers and other things, but I didn't just get the Cap book just to get Cap. So
I've always loved Cap's. I mean, at the core of it, when written right, Cap's my favorite character. So it's just not been done right. I mean, the best Cap we've got recently was Invaders. He was written well in that book by Zdarsky, but you can't put Chip Zdarsky on everything. So he's kind of,
yeah, that's he's, I used to think that Zdarsky was like second banana of, as far as writers at Marvel were concerned, because for a while he was a good staple type of writer. He did a good job, but he wasn't like amazing, awesome or anything. And then at some point, I don't know if he went to finish his creative writing classes. I'm just joking. At some point, he kind of blossomed, and I think it was during that Peter Parker run. It was during the Spectacular Spider-Man run, and he just, boom, he came into his own, and I was just like, wow, this is incredible.
Well, I always feel like he realized he's just not funny.
Yeah.
And instead of just trying to keep sticking I mean, come on. It was already Canadian humor, and then it was bad Canadian humor.
Yeah.
It's like the worst smelling puddle of poop. So and he finally realized, I'm not funny, so maybe I should just start writing serious. And then when I do put a joke in, it actually might add a little bit of levity. And it seemed to work, at least.
Hey, yeah. Skip, how you doing?
Yeah, Skip we got Skip here. We got Vinny's here. We got that guy. We got Eric Breen's here.
Right, Clint Eastwood.
And that, I'm pretty sure that's the Clint Eastwood. Just like I'm the Real Comic Stacks, that is the Clint Eastwood. I'm 98% sure of it.
Damn right.
I'm really bad at statistics too. But yeah, guys, we're just hanging out, talking comics, just chilling, just relaxing. I I've been fortunate enough where my shop's still open. I was able to pick up my books today. They don't know how much longer they're going to be open. With everything going on, we're kind of I'm down in the South, so everything's a little bit slower down here, including the spread of the virus, or at least the testing for it. So, Doc,
warmer weather.
Exactly. If Doc wasn't able to pick up his books yet, so we're not talking today's titles other than what we were looking forward to. But
actually, I was thinking what we really need here in East Tennessee is we need one of those 2 to 3 week blizzards, like we sometimes have in April or May, and that would kill off the virus in this area. Because everybody would be trapped at home and wouldn't be able to get out.
Heck, we don't need a blizzard for that in Middle Tennessee. We can just have a hard rainstorm and a little bit of icing, and people will be home for a week, and after they rushed and bought up all the milk and bread. But yeah, I remember when I was a kid, our worst blizzard we ever had in my memory was like the first week of May, and we had like 6.5, 7 foot tall drifts. So it was freakish, but yeah, I think that if the country had a really good cold snap right now, then I think that would help. That would help tremendously. But all right, I'm sitting here looking at kind of my guilty pleasure that I read. I'm kind of curious on everybody else's. Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider. Ever since Cosmic Ghost Rider has come out, I've been on every single book that he's been in. Is anybody else reading Cosmic Ghost Rider?
You know what? I only read the first. Maybe it was the first Cosmic Ghost Rider run, or maybe it was the second one.
The Donny Cates run, the Baby Thanos one.
Yeah, I got the Baby Thanos one.
Yeah, that one.
That was excellent.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that was the only one that I read. I just couldn't bring myself to giving a shit about the other ones.
Yeah, I've read all of them, and it's like my guilty pleasure. It's the book that I don't openly admit that I read all the time, but I've enjoyed it for whatever reason. Frank Castle with Power Cosmic, Spirit of Vengeance, all of it. It's been fun.
But my guilty pleasure is going back and rereading the 90s and early 2000 Fantastic Fours. I don't know why, but I still like them. I just, I liked that synergy at the time. Starting about the time when Frankie Ray became a Herald of Galactus, going forward. That to me, I just really liked Fantastic Four during that time. And let's see what else. Doctor Strange, the late 70s, early 80s Doctor Strange is fantastic. But
God, I don't even know if I have like a legitimate guilty pleasure comic. I'm looking through my collection right now, trying to think of anything in there that I'd be actually embarrassed to say that I read or that I bought. And
it doesn't have to be something embarrassed, just has to be something like most people didn't really think was great.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing. Like,
Doc only reads great books.
Oh, he only reads the great ones. Oh.
You know what? Okay, actually, no, because that's actually considered it's really pretty well liked from anybody that read it. Like Wildcats Volume 2 and Wildcats version 3.0. Most people didn't read it because it
covers.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, maybe, but no, because Wildcats Volume 2 and version 3.0, those are the ones that they deviated very, very much from like the Jim Lee Wildcats instead of like the all spandex and superhero, like the X-Men ripoff team that Wildcats started as. It was very, very different, where they actually used the Halo Corporation almost as they kind of were setting it up as its own superhero. Spartan, the guy that was not Cyclops, kind kind of just started wearing a suit all the time and went by Jack Marlowe. Grifter, instead of having like the big trench coat and the laser guns, he was wearing like black, like, basically a black tactical uniform over a t-shirt, like, like body armor over a black t-shirt and just some like cargo pants, and was using standard off the rack, pistols, but he kept the mask. Zealot still was, the same crazy character, but even she like cut her hair off and she went to like kind of this like late 90s, early 2000s kind of punk chick look. But it wasn't really a standard superhero comic. And I think a lot of people got bored at, that being so different.
Mm-hmm.
They signed on to Wildcats to see Jim Lee do not the X-Men. And when it turned into, corporate superhero, like the corporation as a superhero, everybody kind of got like, this is a lot more talking and a lot less blowing stuff up and cool alien shit.
Yeah.
But it ended up being one of my favorite series ever.
All right, we got a challenge from Clint Eastwood. 2-word answer. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear New Warriors?
Night Thrasher.
Night Thrasher.
That was my mind. And with the new Warriors, it's like poor Thrasher. I mean, poor guy. He's looking around at his team like, this is what I got, huh?
Yeah, I would need 3 words for that, and that's "I'm sorry, Dwayne."
Yeah, it's like he's looking for suicide missions now.
Yeah, like
now, if I had to look at the new ones, it would be like obese feminist.
Oh man,
but
yeah, no, the woke warriors are just
so bad.
It's I swear to God, the earth is punishing us for even considering making it, and that's why we have this stupid thing. Yeah, this plague.
Well, did you see what Kibblesmith wrote before he wrote comics? I mean, it's not surprising.
Oh yeah,
he wrote Santa Claus's husband.
Yeah,
one of the books that he wrote, where he wrote about a black Santa Claus that had a
gay
white
black Santa Claus. Yeah,
and I'm like, oh God,
Skip's got me rolling.
Go away. Stop
it's
this.
like, and it's like they were showing interior pages of it, and one of them's like, and Santa's got a gift for his chubby, something playmate or something like that, and and I'm like, no.
Sounds like the beginning of bad pornography.
This is really bad gay porn. It's like it's written for like 4-year-olds.
Oh man,
do better. Skip says, do better.
Yeah, that's what I think. That was the one that's the one I think I laughed the hardest about. Was just do better. Just come on. And I was actually looking a while back because Silhouette made an appearance during Infinity Wars, which. Infinity Gauntlet stuff is another one of my things. I'm sorry, I had to read it, but the last Infinity Wars event, they had a Darkhawk 4-issue series in it and a Sleepwalker 4-issue series in it, which both of them were like the standout issues of the series. Honestly, it was better than the main series in some ways, and Silhouette was in it, and they made a mention of. Possibly doing a Secret Defenders line. I was hoping, please bring it back and put Night Thrasher on it, and it never materialized.
So. A guilty pleasure. Savage She-Hulk and Sensational She-Hulk, especially the Burn Sensational She-Hulk.
There you go.
It was just funny. There was some funny stuff in there. That was back when and she was like doing half-naked covers, saying that. If you buy the next book, I'll pull this page down, stuff like that. It's just stuff like that. The book was not taken very seriously, but at the same time, the humor was on point. It was excellent.
Ahead of its time, really.
Really was.
I mean, the breaking of the fourth wall and all that stuff was, I mean, it wasn't until it started getting really recognized, until Deadpool shows up, and now it's like everybody's doing it.
Yeah. Deadpool kind of stole that shtick from her, and then
Harley's trying to steal it from Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
with a stupid movie, Birds of Blood.
So
trying to find other things that were guilty pleasures for me. Damn, I'm literally not finding anything that other people were like, no, that sucks.
Oh, the 70s Curtis comic magazines, the horror magazines and stuff that were really schlocky and weird, but they were really well drawn, and they were a lot of fun to read. Curtis is a Marvel label that they put out when they published magazines. They published it under the Curtis label brand, and they came out with a lot of really weird, a lot of the Vampire Tales, Tomb of Dracula, before the comic book Tomb of Dracula. They had Midnight, Midnight Brothers or something like that. But had Brother Voodoo and another character, I can't remember who. But anyway, but yeah, it was those magazines, because everybody kind of thinks that they're corny, but I always liked them because they were over the top for magazines at the time, because they didn't have to adhere to the Comics Code Authority. So there was a lot more blood and gore and wild stuff going on. And, if you're 10, 11 years old, that's pretty wild. So I always loved that. And I still like them to this day. So.
Hell, man. So going forward, we're going to try to do these, and we probably have a rotating cast here on the show. But as this time where everybody's kind of really stressed out right now, it's kind of crazy. But we're going to try to do these maybe not every night, but pretty regularly. That's cool with everybody?
That works for me.
At least come on for an hour and chat, invite some different folks on. And I know Perch has mentioned he can hop on occasionally. Maybe we can get Wes to get a babysitter or something. I don't know. But
he's pretty dedicated to the daytime daddy thing. So
yeah, that's the same reason that I'm not on during Saturday, Sunday morning, is because that's when I'm doing the same thing he is now. Him just being by the way, if we do the who's going to survive the longest thing, if we go zombie apocalypse here, Wes is making good money if you're betting on Wes, because he's secured a whole island to himself, I think, at this point.
Yeah, but I think Wes is just like the warlord of his island.
He doesn't have neighbors, he has subjects.
I'm sorry, say again?
He doesn't have neighbors, he has subjects.
He's got his own little Doom Island going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's and Skip, you made a good point. Yeah, the kind of the whole reason for this is just to help everybody get their mind off other stupid crap that we can't control.
Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head. We can't control it. Only things we can really control is our attitude as we go through it, and just having some friends to chill with and vent, and just take our minds off it for a little bit. And that's really what this is all about. So we'll hang out for, like, the plan's about 11 o'clock. We'll break contact, but I'll just want to do some. What was the book you guys were looking forward to this week? Even if you didn't get to pick them up.
X-Men.
Yeah, same.
I was, because I've loved the last two or three issues. Pretty much ever since they stopped caring about the Jonathan Hickman's like weird plant fetish.
You didn't get your X-Men this week at all?
I couldn't. My shop's
still waiting at the shop.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if it's waiting at the shop because I don't know if the shop was there to accept orders.
Oh,
We're in as of 8:00 last night. At least 6 counties in Pennsylvania, including Pittsburgh's county, Allegheny, is in a shelter-in-place order.
okay.
And they're actually enforcing the no essential businesses or non-essential business thing.
Okay.
So
Right.
I don't even know if the shop was there to accept books. I don't know if anybody was even there to accept stuff. It might be still sitting in FedEx's warehouse.
Might be. That's weird. Or it'd be UPS probably, but yeah.
Or yeah, UPS. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's crazy, man.
I'm with you guys. I'm all about the X books this week. X-Men and the X-Men Fantastic Four #3 book.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw the preview or not, but it's basically them arriving on the island.
On Doom's Island?
On Doom's Island. They're in a dogfight. They end up on the island. So, and back at the issue 2, you had those giant Doom Sentinels. So it's going to be, I'm looking forward to that one. I don't think Doom's going to be happy with uninvited guests.
Hey, Ash is here now.
Ash, what's going on, brother? But yeah, we're just we're about to wrap it up, actually, buddy.
Yeah, sorry, man.
But we're gonna try to do this about 10:00 Central here for the next little bit while we all go through this this period together of self-isolating and not going to work and stress and everything else. We're just gonna come together, chill out, and do this. And we'll I've got a couple things since I know everybody in the group here. So I'll probably do a couple things for the group here next few nights. Doug Ernst was kind enough to send me a Doug prize. So I've got an issue, an extra issue now. So I'll be trying to give one of those away here during one of these. I think that could be pretty fun. We could probably make a game out of it.
I actually still have a bunch of books that I picked up a long time ago that I meant to give away and just kind of never got around to it.
Heck yeah. I mean, nothing like getting some mail.
Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, you guys want to wrap it up and we'll try to do this again tomorrow night for anybody that's available.
I'm down.
Yeah. All right, brother.
I probably can tomorrow night. The night after, likely not, because I think we're having family over. But
it's all good. Whenever, and like I said, we'll have a rotating cast here. Whoever can make it may pop up on other people's channels when I can't do it. But we'll work it out.
Works for me.
All right, guys. Y'all be careful out there. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Dirty.
Yeah, don't lick any toilet seats.
Oh yeah, best
or
one
doorknobs.
Licked it and ended up getting it.
Yes, she did. That
man.
serves you right.
The only thing the thing that ticks me off most about that is he's in a hospital bed taking up space.
Yeah.
He probably infected about 6 other people before he got there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
If you see clout chasers, make them,
make fun of them.
Or you can chase them out with a baseball bat.
Yeah, there's that too.
Don't hit them, but just chase them.
Oh man, you guys take care. Y'all have a great. Thank y'all for hanging out with us.
All right, everybody, have a nice night.
How?
Good night.